Are people aware or just distracted? This is one of my favorite topics, so we're gonna get all into it today. I'm super excited. I've been trying to film this video, and I just feel like I can't get the words out right, but is it awareness or distraction? So, a lot of people raise awareness, but you can't raise awareness with people who constantly resist awareness. Narcissistic people. When you try to raise awareness with narcissistic people, you just can't do it because they abuse life. They use life in the wrong way. Right? So when you have like a cause that you want to raise awareness for, we see this a lot in society, like mainstream society. A cause that you want to like raise awareness for. When we're raising awareness of these things, why do we never like see any change in the world? Like if we're really raising awareness for something, we should be seeing change in the collective consciousness. But the reason why we're not is because how people abuse life. Everything they see in their life. People don't just abuse people. They abuse objects. Objects. Comment sections. Videos. Teachings. Philosophies. Religion. They abuse it. And so when you try to raise awareness with people who abuse life, the only awareness that is being raised is the awareness of how superior they are. The awareness of how special they are. The awareness of how smarter they are than others. The awareness of how victimized they are. The awareness of how powerless they are. Because narcissists use everything in their lives to validate their beliefs about life. I'm powerless. I'm a victim. I'm a hero. I'm a villain. So when you try to raise awareness, it may seem like people are getting it, but they're not actually becoming aware of anything. They're actually just becoming more validated for their beliefs. Many people actually are a part of the problem when it comes to awareness of systemic corruption, for example. Things like spread online about the Epstein files or viruses, and people jump on and they get this sense of satisfaction where they feel like, oh, I know more than others. Oh my gosh, people are so stupid for doing this. People are so dumb because they don't know about this. And when we're in this place of judgmentalness and superiority, we're actually a part of the problem, right? Because these big systems of corruption that we're aware of, we play a part in it. Each and every single one of us. When you harm, manipulate, and control others, when you harm and manipulate and control yourself, you contribute just as much as these systemic corruptions that we see appear in social media. Right? The control of systems doesn't exist out there in somewhere where we're powerless to. It exists in here, in the mind. The control. And part of this control is awareness that is actually just distraction. People are just distracting themselves from the truth. And people do this a lot online. I see this. Someone will do something malicious, manipulative, and harmful. People in the comments will jump in and be like, complaining about how wrong it is. But they're not actually seeing what's wrong about it. It's coming from a place of, I need to see the flaws in others so that I can pretend the flaws in me don't exist. And no one's actually aware of the deeper truth or talking about the deeper truth of situations. and they come from this place of powerlessness. When we say things like, nobody can have fun anymore in the world. What's a good example, Spirit? It's actually just a big distraction. Like, we use these sweeping, complaining statements that have no solution so that we don't have to look deeper into what's actually going on, the actual truth. Because when I see Karen or malicious, manipulative behavior, I'm like, okay, here's the dynamic, here's what's happening, this is the truth of the situation, here's how the other person is contributing, here's how, and that type of awareness is something that shifts and evolves and actually does what we want raising awareness to do, which is to create change in the world. When we actually see the truth is when we create change. Not only in a societal level, but on a personal level. Seeing the truth in you is how you change, evolve, and accept. Acceptance is how you evolve. That's what I mean. Another way that this distraction shows up is in when someone does something wrong and groups kind of mob up to attack that person. Sometimes we call this social justice. It's not social justice. It's actually the very opposite of justice. Justice is truth, seeing the truth. But when you take sides and you attack and you mob up against people, it's still just another distraction. Because when mobbing and grouping people are taking sides against someone, they're serving their ego. The motives. I need to feel superior. Oh, this person's bad, so I don't feel as bad about myself. That kind of self-esteem that is dependent on putting others down. Narcissists are like codependent. This is what codependency is. Their sense of self and self-esteem is dependent on others fitting their exact needs. And that's controlling as well. So it's all just a big distraction. People use judgments and attacks to distract themselves from the real justice that needs to create change on the planet. So you can spread awareness all you want, but if we're spreading awareness to people who abuse life, they're not becoming aware of anything because they're using life to validate what they already know, what they want to be true about themselves. And you can't raise awareness in someone who is so attached to being the way they want to be, or for things to be the way they want to be, to that control over reality and the self and their thoughts. So, is it awareness or is it distraction? In your personal life, seeing the truth is how you bring justice to a situation. Because why do we raise awareness for anything in society? To bring justice. And that's a very pure desire. Justice. For things to be fair. Very pure desire. And we really bring justice, not by fighting, not by judging, not by taking sides, but by becoming aware of the truth. The deepest truths, the truths that are hidden, the dynamics, the energy, the patterns that are unseen. There's a lot of unseen things in this world, unseen energies. We've been conditioned as a collective to avoid the unseen within ourselves and in others and in the world. But through the awareness of the shadow, that shadow comes into the light. And in that light may evolve. into higher states of consciousness, which reflects in society as fair business practices. Fair leaders. Whatever it is.